It's been a few years since I've attempted something like this. This story is perhaps one of my favorite. It's so cringy. I love it, and it's made by me, unfortunately. So yeah, you can expect some crazy stuff. Normally, this story has some erotic content, but for the sake of YouTube, I will keep it on the down low for the most part. Now, what this means is that there'll eventually be two versions of the story. One erotic and one clean. But only people who know me through social media will have access to that very explicit version. Anyway, this story is known as Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon Team Techno Revised version. A very long time ago, back when I was a little pup on fanfiction.net, I made a story about Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. You see, the game was a lot of fun for me. I think it's my first Mystery Dungeon game, and it actually made me cry quite a bit. So man, overwhelmed with straight up emotion, I just made a story. It was absolute crap, but you know what? It was good crap, and I love that crap. Anyway, I've decided to bring this wonderful story to you. I hope you all are ready, because this is about to get heated. Dreaming like any other Pokemon, a Buizel known as Sorey is determined to join a guild. Finally able to make his wish come true, he sets out on his journey, for one of which he will never forget. Careful with this lemon, it can be very sour. It should go without saying, I do not own Pokemon, nor do I own most of the content in this video. This was solely made for non-profit and fan enjoyment. Now, shall we continue? I awoke one morning on my bed in my hometown of Forest in the Pokemon governed region known as Cosmos. Today's gonna be the day, I just know it, I cheered. After all this time, I think I finally gathered the courage to tell my dad that I'll be leaving home to join the guild known as Affinity, located somewhere in Draxel. I know that I'm only 16 and all, and that I'm not all that strong yet, but this has been my dream ever since I was rescued by a team from a mystery dungeon that I somehow wandered into when I was little. I have to do this. Otherwise, I'll end up dreaming instead of actually doing, and I can't have that. Suddenly, my thoughts were interrupted by my father, an adult male floater calling me from downstairs. Yeah, I'll be down in a sec, Dad, I yelled from atop my bed. I slowly climbed down from my bed, knocking over my Riolu plushie on the floor, and rushed to the door. But I was suddenly stopped with a really bad urge to pee. I quickly turned around and took flight to the bathroom, which was connected to my room. Once I finished draining my load, I washed my paws and quickly headed downstairs to the kitchen to tackle hug my papa. Afterwards, I sat down with him at our kitchen table and began to eat a delicious breakfast. Everything tasted so good. It was almost like something out of a dream. My papa's cooking was the best, totally top tier, and you can fight me on that. As time passed, the food I had shoved in my mouth had slowly begun to digest inside of me. Yeah, that's the word. But it was then that I suddenly started to get a weird feeling in my tummy. And no, it wasn't indigestion. It was something else. It kind of felt like butterflies fluttering inside of me. It was odd. But if I had to guess what it was, it would definitely be anxiety. Oh man, I feel like my heart's gonna explode if it keeps racing like this. I want to tell my papa about my plans, but I'm like really scared at the same time. Come on, I had so much determination this morning. Where in the world did it all go? I thought, holding myself nervously. Sorry, what's wrong? You look like you're having a hard time trying to say something, he said. I was honestly having a hard time just keeping myself from shaking. Papa, it's just that, I stuttered while trying my hardest to get out what I wanted to say. I honestly didn't expect this to be so hard. Take your time, Sorey, he said, rubbing my paw to keep me calm. He was successful, for the most part, so I quickly took a deep breath and prepared myself. Papa, I've decided that today I'm gonna be leaving to follow my dream of being in a Pokemon Rescue Guild. I want to be a hero. I want to save people who are lost in dungeons and guide them to safety, all while smiling and just enjoying life. I won't let what happened to Mom happen to anyone else. Not as long as I can help it, I shouted. My heart was racing so fast, I could have sworn that I was going to pass out at any moment. I watched my father's reaction for a second and found that he was growing increasingly more angry by the second. I suddenly got a sinking feeling inside of my core and started to cry. What? Sorry, you're only 16. You're inexperienced in combat and have a horrible sense of direction. Letting you do something that stupid would only end up in you being dead somewhere. I won't allow it, and that's final, he shouted. Still in tears, I stood visibly determined. Papa, my life is mine to live. I refuse to let my dreams be suppressed by you keeping me here forever, I shouted, visibly shaken. My dad exhaled loudly and told me to relax for a second. He placed his right paw on my heart and his left on my head. He gently bumped foreheads with me and smiled warmly. Sorey, look at me. I'm sorry for yelling. I suppose I was just overreacting a bit. I know I've been very restricting on you. Well, you finished a good portion of your training with Spencer, and you know how to use technology to get around, and most importantly, you're determined to see this through. Just remember, son, I'll always love you, and I'll be here for you if you need anything, he said softly, with tears in his eyes. I hugged him tightly for a while after that. When I released him, I rushed upstairs to pack my things. Geez, for a second I actually thought it was gonna stop me. But now that the hard part's over, I can focus on more important stuff, like how freaking awesome this is gonna be! I can't wait to join the Infinity Guild in Draxel. I'll get around to being a part of the team and traveling throughout the region and even helping out Pokemon in need, I thought. This is gonna be super amazing! Huh? Oh, Nico. I paused, looking at my adorable Riolu plushie laying upside down on my floor. I picked him up and stared at him for a moment and thought, no way, I'll be joining a guild soon. What would I look like sleeping with a teddy bear? I picked up Nico and put him on my bed and continued packing. While I was doing so, my papa walked in holding a small box. Sorey, I have a little something for you. I wanted to give you this when you were a bit older, but I think now's the right time, he stated. I paused packing and accepted the box. Inside, I found an enhanced Loplet with the Waterium Z? You already know how to use this item because of the training sessions you had with your Uncle Spencer and his son Anubis. Knowing you, I shouldn't have to worry about you using this in the wrong place, he calmly said. I paused looking at the item and thought, whoa, now that's a powerful item. Ahem. Sorry, with great power comes great responsibility, he stated. You know, I swear I feel like I've heard that multiple times before. I feel like it was out of a movie, something super cliche. My dad's a real movie nut. Okay, Papa, I got it. Just let me finish up before it gets too late, I playfully stated. He smiled and soon left my room. I quickly finished packing all the important stuff and headed downstairs. As I arrived, I noticed my father finishing the dishes. Looks like it's time now, he said, preparing to hug me. Yeah, I'm ready now, Papa, I said, hugging him one last time before heading towards the front door and telling him that I loved him a lot. Sorey, I'm gonna miss you so much. Don't forget to write me, and don't forget to visit me sometimes with your new friends, he said, trying his hardest not to cry. I paused and stared at him longingly before I left the house. As the door closed behind me, I looked towards the sky and shouted that I was on my way to Coastal Town, to Draxel, to join the guild known as Infinity. Alright, so I'm gonna be real with you, that was the end of the chapter. But you know what? I'm feeling good, so I'll give you just a little bit more. The Infinity Guild is stationed in a large wooden building filled with various facilities ranging from dining halls to outdoor training grounds. It's located on the edge of Draxel. It's on a cliffside that looks outwards towards the beach that bears a stunning view of the ocean. It's a really beautiful place. You should check it out. The guild has its own living quarters, separate from the main building, that can fit a maximum of 4 Pokemon to a room, depending on the Pokemon size, of course. The dorms are mostly made of wood to keep that natural feel abundant. And it's said that the guild mastery is... You know what, I'll save that. Now for the bonus content. Later that day at the Infinity Guild's dorms, Ariello could be seen emerging from his bathroom. Ugh, that shower was so boring. I don't think they'll ever be as fun as they used to be, he said, drying his fur and lightly rubbing himself. It would have been nice to have some company, I thought in slight blush. I wish my big brother were still with me. At least he'd know how to keep me entertained. Damn it, Ryu, you're such a jerk. Why did you have to leave me here and go off to join some other guild? I pouted. Suddenly, I could hear the sound of knocking, and the sound of a familiar voice outside my dorm door. "Oh, Nico, are you up yet?" the female voice said. Hey, so, I know this chapter was short, but, this is kind of the flow I kind of wanted to go at. It's a lot easier to handle compared to my other stories, which I'm still working on. It's a work in progress. Please give me some time on that. But anyway, tell me what you thought about this video in the comment section. Give it a like and subscribe. If you haven't already, go find my Patreon because that's where I put some real legit stories that I've made. Also, find me on social media so that when I do upload the erotic version of the story, you have access to it. That is assuming that you are one of those types of people. I know you are. That guy right there with the purple shirt. You. Yeah. I'm waiting for you. Join me. Anyway, that was the end of this video, and I'll see you all on the next one.